Film Slice Crew Review John Wick 3 Parabellum. Oh, it's a long name.
Johnny Boy's back at it again.
Johnny
Here's
Boy.
Johnny Wick. Hey team, Angus, Strachan here. Welcome to the Film Slice Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wiggly Kane Dogs.
Hello there.
And the man formerly known as Bro Doodly Doo Bro Man Richards. This week he is known as
Parabellum.
the Wick Man.
The Wickman.
Wickman.
I'm the Wickerman.
Wickerman.
Not related to what we're reviewing this week, which is John Wick 3.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. John Wick
Parabellum.
Chapter 3.
Parabellum.
The most important part of the
Parabellum,
title.
the John Wick saga continues.
John Wickathon. John Wick again.
Kane Dogs, without that
John Wick,
IMDb summary
maker
for
of
us.
candles. Sorry. I had to put in a Wick joke.
Okay. Did you wanna... You good?
That was pretty wicked. Go for it.
Super assassin John Wick is on the run after killing
We're using this one.
after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild, and with a 14 goddamn. Super assassin John Wick is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild, and with a 14 million price tag on his head, he is the target of a hit man and woman everywhere. Oh, I
didn't realize he was a super assassin.
Yeah, man.
Because that is super. He's a super assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen
This
the first
film
two?
is in the Marvel franchise.
Makes sense.
It fits more in the DC franchise, but the DC franchise is so shit right now, I had to go Marvel.
All right. When you see the movie, what do you think?
When you see the movie, what did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
I
Thursday
saw the movie with Brody on Thursday night, and it's maybe my favorite. It's like a drug at this point. It's my favorite thing ever.
It's so over the top.
It was great.
It's the greatest
I
thing
bloody
I've ever
loved
seen.
it.
I knew watching this you would have loved it. I saw
Yeah.
something, I was like, oh, John probably loved that.
Yeah, and you know what? That's related to multiple various
Pretty much,
topics of
yeah.
things Angus watches.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So same with you, Broadman. Wick
I
me?
saw it Thursday, not with John.
Ah,
I mean, I was there. He just didn't see me.
Nah. John's one of them creepers creeping at the back of the
those
cinema,
silent
possibly
super
touching
assassins.
himself. Don't know. Can't see back there.
I mean, I literally picked him up in my car and drove him to the cinema myself and
Yeah.
drove him home.
This movie did not want to be seen by me because I was going to see the
Because I
movie on.
knew that you would take away all of me and Brody's fun by thinking it was fine instead of the best thing ever made.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I went to see it on Friday, but I cancelled that because my combi van got fixed. I had to go pick that one up instead.
That's less important
So
than
that's
John Wick
my
3.
that was my bad. But the next day I went to see it and it was bloody sold out.
Yeah.
So I
It's
couldn't.
really good.
So I couldn't even go see it then. So I saw it yesterday
Nice.
evening. It was it was. I mean, it was John Wick basically.
Yeah.
Like if you like it, you like it. If
No,
you
no, no,
don't,
no, no.
This
you're
is the
not
best one
going
of
to.
If
Three.
you like it, then this one is the greatest thing you've ever seen. And if you didn't like the first two, then this
Yeah.
one is still pretty good.
yeah.
Fair.
This is the best of the three. If you haven't seen the first two, still go see this one.
Yeah.
Would it? Does it make sense on its own?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen,
It's
You
fine.
can, like, here's the thing.
I don't think I don't.
It doesn't need to, because no one's seeing this movie for the story. Everybody's seeing this movie for the action, and whether you know what's happening or not, the action delivers.
Yeah.
And-
Action's on point.
You don't care about anything else. I don't know what happened in this movie. I just know that it's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it.
Yep.
Before we do, lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and no longer Twitter forever.
Yep.
What movie we're reviewing, and I
you
ask
consistently leave me out of this intro, but yes.
Yes,
Yes, I know that you and also me do that, yes.
I ask our slicey slices out there what their thoughts are on the movie, whether they've seen it or not. Mm-hmm. And normally no one replies.
Oh, consistently
well,
we've had a
bloody
few
guess
people.
what?
Brody wrote
What?
4 things under 7 different aliases, and they all are some sort of insult at me.
Well, we've got 4 things.
We do have
Okay.
4 things.
We've got
And
4
one of them
things.
is Connor Kelly, and the other 3 are Brody.
No, you're wrong again.
Okay, good.
Are
Yes.
you ready?
Yep.
This is from Hooverman91. Says, can you guys fire Fappo already?
Fappo.
He
That
is
could
the
be
one-
any. That could be
Hold
any
on.
one of us.
It goes on. He
Oh.
is the one with blonde hair and no sense of style, and also who doesn't care about the way he looks, and also isn't boyfriend material. You know which one.
Specifically, only been in relationships, consistently style myself, and wear a lot of expensive clothing.
If the audience isn't liking you, Fappo, then I think we should just...
We're not. Hold on. We're
fire
not
you,
letting
man.
Fappo be a thing that carries on. There's already something else that's begun carrying on within the comments that I'll get to. But there's enough of these running gags.
Man.
All right, this is next one's from Dirty Dan's.
Dirty Dans.
Is that
Dirty Dan's.
Yeah.
The guy that I met.
Yeah, you met.
Fantastic.
You met Dirty Dans.
Hey, man.
He says, better than Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Which, is
Yeah.
general consensus.
Yep.
Next comment is also from Dirty Dan's.
Good.
Better than Chapter 2. I think he sent it twice.
No,
Okay,
he's
fair.
just being. He's making
very
sure.
He's making sure people know his standpoint on this film.
He's
It was
unwavering.
better than Chapter 2.
He's unwavering on that point.
Full stop.
All right, and this is from not.filmslice.host.
Also, Brody.
He says, first one calling it Film of the Year.
Yeah. I'm
Yep. Filmslice.host,
100%.
first one to call it.
That's
Good
You're
job.
not the first one to call it.
I think he is.
He's not.
I think, has anyone else said it on this podcast?
Yeah, not on the podcast, but yeah.
Well, then it didn't happen.
all right, Cane Dogs.
Yo.
Anyone hit you up on Facey?
Yeah, we did. We got a few. First up, we got Ethan Dean saying, haven't seen the newest one, but plan to. The first one surprised the hell out of me. I'm not ordinarily a fan of these action movies, particularly what I refer to in my head as Jason Statham movies. I'm aware that John Wick doesn't star Jason Statham, but it bears all the hallmarks of one. Renegade, death machine, single-handedly takes on army of expendable underworld figures, cartel operatives, rogue government employees. I did, however, like John Wick, and thought Keanu did a sweet job. I was also intrigued by the underworld John Wick was tied up in and wanted to learn more. The second one, the second one was a bit meh, and I thought Ruby Rose was kind of shoehorned in and they could have used someone who actually knows how to act. That still hasn't dampened my excitement for the third one.
Fair
I
enough.
totally agree, yeah. This is...
Yeah. Second one was a bit of a disappointment. I agree. There
I
was
think-
there was some good parts in it, but I think overall it wasn't great.
I think story-wise it was worse and dragged on a lot more, but the action sequences stepped it up from the first one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Kirby Hines wrote in, I really enjoyed the movie for what it was, action, fight scenes, and lots of shooting. Great choreography, especially loved the dogs and the fight scenes, very well trained.
Yep. That's fair.
I
Can
agree
we
with
start
all
calling
that.
Kirby Hines tomato sauce?
Yep. Tomato sauce. Alright. And then Georgina Bramwell.
What about baked beans?
I mean, you've got your nicknames, I've got my nicknames. We can just mix
Yeah.
all the nicknames.
Okay.
Alright,
Tomato beans.
Coined it. Alright.
Bean sauce!
Georgina Bramwell says, haven't seen it, but Jordan was like a kid in a candy store when he got home. Pika pika bitch. Aw.
Pika pika bitch.
It's because
Yeah.
last time I said that if she wrote in, I'd have to read it. And oddly enough, although she doesn't listen to the podcast, that's the one bit she decided to listen to and has devoted herself now just
fair.
to writing
That's
Pika
fair.
Pika.
I think what's happening is that the gluten-free does listen to every single episode, but
And then
just
tells me.
doesn't tell you.
So she knows.
Yeah, so she
what
knows
you're
everything
saying.
you've ever said, but she doesn't want you to know
Just
that.
gonna bring it up at a later date. Be
Yeah,
like, yeah, but you did say this.
And then you're like, ooh.
There you go. All right, sweet. That's what our Slicey Slices thought of. Thank you for writing in. Make sure you hit us up.
Thank you so much.
For the next episode, which we'll get into shortly after this episode.
Shortly after this episode. With another movie and another week. You've really got a firm grasp of the obvious, Angus.
Would you recommend it, and who would you recommend it to? Wickman. Start it off.
Wickerman.
The Wick star.
I would recommend it to pretty much everyone over the age of 7.
That's a bit
I
young.
feel like it was 17 and he forgot to put the one in.
I mean, we all, like, the earlier you get them, the better. Otherwise they're not
That's
like...
Brody's motto. The earlier you get them, the better.
If you're a bit younger, then it's fine to see this film. Don't worry about it too much. It kind of reminded me of seeing action films like when I was a kid, when pretty much every action movie that you saw when you were a kid was great. You'd be like, oh yeah, it's like the new Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Or it's like, it's the new Jason Statham, the new Bruce Willis, the new Rambo, like whatever, whoever the action hero was. When you were a kid, you'd just go to see an action film and it was just good.
Yeah.
But like the last 10, 15 years have just been littered with shitty action films
the older
with
you
random
get-
people. It's like, oh, let's get a guy from Twilight to do an action film. Let's get this other guy from this TV show to do an action film.
Well, let's
Let's
get
get
the guy
Tom
that...
Cruise to do the 15th action film.
Well,
in a
let's
row.
get that one guy who did that really good trilogy and make him do 1,000 more just like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's just like oh, Jason Statham, he was good in his like first, I don't know, probably 6 films. let's just get him to play the same character in the exact same place. Let's make it look the same. Let's do everything exactly the same.
Yeah.
And let's do that for 4 films.
Much like sort of American comedies, they've really begun churning out these generic action. Like
they all
these
look the
Taken-esque
same.
films.
They all have basically the same storyline, and they're just like so boring.
Get an actor, give them little time for choreography, just quick cut every action scene so you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like oh, whatever. Like, and then they just do random shit like Bourne Legacy, where it's like it's a Bourne film, but we couldn't afford the main character, so we got this guy who's not even Hawkeye yet. And it's just like, ugh, it's so whatever. So watching this film reminded you, like when I was a kid, I was just like, this is just a good action film. Story isn't great, but it's just so fun and entertaining to watch that I could have watched 4 more straight after that.
We looked at each other at the end of this and were like, this felt like we haven't seen action. Like, it just felt like you hadn't seen an action movie in 10 years. When you watch it, you're like, it's like being reintroduced to good action films.
It was the kind of film where we laughed because of how much fun we were having.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't laughed because it was bad. Like, in Hellboy, we laughed because it was such a bad film that we were amazed that it was made.
Yeah.
But in this one, we laughed, even in like really serious moments where he's like shooting someone's face off or whatever, and we're just like, huh, this is awesome. You know?
Yeah. We had the same amount of adrenaline, but this was a good reason.
Okay, Noakes, would you recommend it? Who would you recommend it to?
Look, Brody said most of it. I'd recommend this to anyone who liked the first two, and also anyone who just wants to see a good action flick. Also, I think if you have a friend and they're sort of been put off by action films recently, like Brody sort of suggested that most of them aren't too good anymore. Yep. This is a great way to reintroduce someone back into that genre. Outside of that, Brody covered most of it. Angus?
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is a kind of a more specific kind of action film, I guess. Like, there's not... I can't remember if there's a lot of like big explosions as such. It's more like a lot of fight scenes, a lot of choreography, a lot of
so
that
much better
kind of action.
Yeah, explosions have got a bit boring.
It's like,
to be honest, because we've seen explosions since films in like the 70s, and back then they did it with real explosives, so it would look much better. Right?
Yeah, but it's like this is like a specific kind of action film. Like, it's not like a...
It's just, it feels like a smaller budget because it tells a much more sort of close quarter kind of story in terms of choreography and the way they do the set pieces. But that is so much better than 1,000 CGI explosions.
I'd liken it to like, if you like Jackie Chan movies or like martial art movies, definitely go see this one. Yeah, for sure. If you're not a big fan of the brutality of fighting,
the interesting fights.
The kind of, I wouldn't say gore, but it's like, it's almost grotesque.
In some of it,
it doesn't shy away from.
It has.
It's not as grotesque as Hellboy was.
This is true.
It has that factor that'll make you cringe, but immediately after you cheer into the air.
Yeah,
like you're like,
it's never like on screen for just a long time.
Yeah,
but if there's moments where it's just like, ooh,
there's not like someone.
It's kind of a happy moment though, where you're like, ooh.
If I could sum up this movie in one word, it would be
like, ooh.
Sweet. All right. Anything else before we head into spoilers?
Go see this film.
Cool. Yep. All right. Spoilers.
What a cool sound effect, Angus.
We are in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the movie. You've been warned. Good luck with the rest of your future. I hope it goes well. I hope you graduate with flying colours.
Hope you get that job that you're going for.
Yes, all of that stuff.
That new car.
I don't. I hope you take a gap year and that ends up being a 7-year gap year, and then you end up working at the school that you went to. Just like me. It's a great life. I really recommend it.
All right.
And you, Joe, I hope you find your leg someday, Joe. It's out there somewhere, man.
You're the best. All right. Cinema Dicks. Anyone got a
dicks? Yeah, I've got one.
Cinema Dick?
Okay, so...
I did specifically offer to buy Brody food and asked where he wanted to sit. I did everything right.
Jordan told me he would buy me some crisps to make up for the last time where he ate all of mine, but then he didn't.
Okay.
He also took forever choosing his snack in the supermarket.
Okay.
And so we were just like almost late for the movie.
Both of these
and he
things...
also yelled out in the middle of the movie a couple times. And he also answered his phone in the middle as well.
These are blatant lies. First things first.
Jordan is answering like a politician.
Hold on.
He's
okay.
Don't believe a single thing you
said.
Do I
get a say?
Yes.
You were the host?
Yep.
Okay. First things first.
Rebuttal.
I offered to buy Brody crisps. He said no. Then I immediately picked what I wanted, and then Brody spent half an hour not knowing what to get.
That doesn't sound like me either.
Then we decided where to sit, and the only time I talked to Brody the whole time during the film was I leant over and said, "This is the best movie of 2018." That's the whole thing.
Does this sound true?
Oh, well,
all of our Film Slice listeners.
It is 2019. So there is a hole.
I did say 2019.
Okay, good. Okay.
No, I feel like Jordan's
Moving
story
on,
is really close.
I thought I had a cinema dick.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a cinema saint. So sitting behind me and Brody was this guy who was just being like really loud and boisterous, and I thought this guy's going to be a pain in the ass through the whole film because he just seemed like a bit of a dick.
Just had that face about him.
Just had that. No, just like, you know, the kind of guy that you
like
think
Jordan.
clearly isn't here because he wants to enjoy the movie so much, is more here to be a pain in the ass to everybody. But he instead ended up more or less being a hype man for the whole film.
Yeah.
And that made it okay for me to like, because at the beginning of the movie, John Wick kills the guy with a book, right? And usually in movies, unless you see something as bad as Hellboy, you don't really emote audibly in any way during most films, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're really caught up. But this guy was like, he killed him with a fucking book! And so the whole cinema was just like, happy to join in on that. And it actually really built up the hype. Cinema saint.
So we actually had to go up right at the front, but everyone was on the hype train.
Yeah.
So in that first scene where the guy gets killed by a book, everyone was like just audibly like, oh God,
It's so good.
Jesus. Like, yeah, and there were people laughing at it and like, full on. And I think that scene was a good kind of setup to like, okay, this is what we can expect for the rest of the film.
It really had that Deadpool-ish humor where it's like, it's grotesque to the point of being over the top and funny.
Yeah.
Really kind of
it's
had
definitely
that.
over the top, for sure. But no like real cinema dicks. I think everyone was kind of on the same page. There was
John Wick demands your silence. You know that famous hashtag.
Yeah. I did sit next to a couple who I'm pretty sure were doing their own review because they were like,
I thought that was going in a different direction for a moment. they were doing their own choreography.
No, they were going through the movie like bit by bit, like, oh, I gotta remember this part and stuff, and like at the very end of the film they're like, okay, so what do we have to remember, kind of thing. So I didn't talk to them at all. I don't know what their podcast is, but if you
let them know if we're any good.
Let them know if we're any
hear
good.
a generic John Wick 3 review, let them know.
That is enough.
As long as we're
enough,
comparing John Wick to Thanos, let me just say this. We've seen Thanos die twice. We've never seen John Wick die.
Yep.
Who are you more afraid of?
I wanted to
Who's more powerful? John Wick.
All right, let's get into our most positives of the film. K-Nox, you want to start us off? Or do you want to go last? Can
I go last?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I really liked
Wickman.
The fight in the antique weapon warehouse with all the knives.
That was good.
It was just great. It was like he was just running away, and then he like goes through a door, and he's like, "Oh," and he kind of like just runs in, and he's just like, "Oh, there's like a pistol," and he like grabs the pistol, and he fixes the pistol just to shoot one guy, and then runs away, and then he like just they're fighting in a hallway, and then they're just smashing every piece of glass in that hallway and just throwing like 100 knives at each other.
Yeah.
And it was just great. It was just like, this is so much fun. It looks good. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
This is just great. This is just great cinema. In that moment.
Definitely agree. That scene was fantastic. The start of that scene, I really like just the start of that scene where the music kind of flips to this like like thinking, and he's like putting together a gun and stuff, and you're like, okay, like he's building up his arsenal, like he's going to use this gun and get out of the building, and he just shoots one guy in the head and then drops the gun and starts running.
What me and Brody really loved about that scene is right before he fires it, he still spins the chamber.
He spins the chamber, it lands on the right bullet, and then he shoots a guy in the head in like 1 second. And it's just like, that's amazing.
And then there's that, and then like obviously it's a great setting, and like this is why I liken it to like a Jackie Chan kind of
because they use the environment.
Yeah. And there's this great bit where like they're beating up each other. John Wick's like knocked back, the other guy's knocked back. They slowly get to their feet, and then they look behind them, and there's just cases of knives, and they're like, and they both like rush
they both grab the knives behind them,
break the glass.
It's
and grab
so
the
good.
Another moment similar to that, and this isn't my main positive, but just while we're on that, there's another moment where it's kind of like a Mexican standoff, except instead of being the first to shoot, it's the first to reload. There's three guys in really close quarters, and they all come up empty. And you think in your brain, because you're so used to seeing these action films, like, all right, everybody's going to throw away their gun, have a bit of a tussle.
Yeah.
But no,
all three of them.
They all decide to reload as fast as they can, and John Wick beats them both and shoots them both in the head. Incredible scene.
It's so great.
Yeah, really good.
It would remind me of I think there was a scene in the first film
There's a scene
where
in
he's
the
fighting a
first
guy,
one.
and in mid-fight he reloads and then shoots him in the face.
Shoots him in the face. They do one like that in the second one as well. It's sort of a callback where in the first one, John Wick has to reload. In the second one, him and another guy quickly reload. And so in the third one, 3 people reload.
Yeah.
So at some point in John Wick 4 or 5,
Yeah,
there's going to be a room full of people reloading their guns.
It's a number of people equal to the title of the film.
It does somewhat seem like it could get to the point where you wonder if the hitmen are prepared.
Yeah.
Like, he just walks into a room and there's 30 guys just like, oh, I haven't loaded my gun yet. And everybody, that's the general hand gesture for loading a gun.
Yeah,
and everybody
great
knows
visual
that.
joke there.
Yeah. It's exactly what you pictured.
Yep.
Like, it's eventually going to get to a point where he walks into a room and everybody's just like, oh no, quick, everybody reload the guns! That's pretty great.
Did the
A
hand
gun
motion
loading
a second
factory.
A gun loading factory. He walks in and everybody's just like on an assembly line just loading their guns.
All right. My favorite bit, I mean, obviously there's a lot of great fight scene bits, and I'm sure you'll probably talk about most of them. But I think my favorite bit was just a little callback to The Matrix, where he's like, we're going to need guns.
Lots of guns.
Lots of guns.
There's
I'm
a lot of callbacks
that's
to The Matrix in this movie.
There's a lot of callbacks to a lot of films.
Yeah,
How about-
yeah.
So good.
I like the pop culture references.
Yeah.
So most people will know that Lawrence Fishburne is in this film and he was also in The Matrix. But
Obvious.
did you know the guy at the start that stitches him back up is the keymaker?
Yeah.
From Matrix Reloaded. I found that out on a
thought it
YouTube
was-
video about 30 minutes ago.
Really?
Yeah, didn't notice that at
I
all.
totally pegged him.
It's been a long time since I saw the Reloaded and Revolutions because I don't like them.
It's
Fair enough.
It's good because I think this film looks like a fan made film of someone that likes The Matrix.
Yeah.
They're like, if we had all this money and we wanted to make a movie, I really love The Matrix. Let's just make
you're
The
aware
Matrix
that it's-
again without the foreboding end of the world.
Well, that's what it
shit.
is.
Like,
So what it was after they did The Matrix, this script sort of came into existence. And then Keanu Reeves got on board and said he would do it as long as the choreographers of The Matrix directed it.
came in, yeah.
So the choreographers that did The Matrix 1 through 3 and helped Keanu Reeves
Yeah.
learn martial arts and sort of he continued to develop it throughout his career. But they're the guys that do all of this. And they directed it and did the choreography. And that's why everything is just so
That's
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah.
And probably why there's a lot of callbacks to The
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that because it's good to see movies appreciating other movies,
But not
as
in a
well,
way
but
where
not
it's just in your face, like in Ready Player One,
Yeah,
or in Wreck-It Ralph or whatever.
Yeah.
it's not. It's subtle.
Yeah.
where it's just like, oh, that's like the scene in The Matrix.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not that. It's not just a huge neon sign that says Matrix RRs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. All right, Cane Dogs.
Main
Hit us with your positives.
So-
Like John Wick hits us with a book, a knife, a gun, a dog.
Yeah, look. So
That's my favorite game: book, knife, gun, or dog.
Right,
John,
ready,
let's
set,
have a play. Yeah.
all right, yeah.
3,
Book,
2.
knife, gun, dog.
Oh, I went
Dog beats book.
I went with
I went for dog.
went
John
for
went
book.
for book. I
It's
win.
the classic hand gestures. Everybody knows it. We don't need to explain
Yeah.
it.
If
Everybody
you
knows
don't
the
know
rules.
how it works, dog beats book. Book beats gun and knife. Gun beats dog, obviously.
yeah.
Knife beats gun. Knife also beats book.
Yeah, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
Dog and knife cancel each other out.
really, really difficult to find a positive of this movie because start to finish. Okay. Not only did I lean to Brody and say this is the best movie of 2019, but that also means, and I'm saying this for people out there that are unsure if it's okay to say this out loud, this movie is better than Endgame. I'm sorry, it just is. It's just a better movie than Endgame.
I don't think so. No.
I know you don't.
I agree.
But
I
it
agree
is.
with Jordan.
It just is. I'm really sorry. Endgame has more nostalgia. Yes, Endgame has
More emotion.
larger stakes. Sure, but it made far more mistakes. Whereas John Wick went, this
just
is what we
so
need
much
to
fun.
do, and it delivered tenfold. And that's why it's better.
I don't think it's going to win an Oscar anytime soon, though.
No, it will. It'll win.
Endgame shouldn't.
The
shouldn't
shotgun
win
is
an
gonna
Oscar
get-
either.
I don't think Endgame will either, but I don't think...
Shotgun is going to get best supporting actor. This does, however, bring me to my positive, which is the headshot shootout where John Wick runs out with a handgun and everybody's wearing crazy body armor.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
starts with him lifting up the visors of these helmets. But then he goes back and he's like, I need more firepower. The guy goes, I'm a pissing rounds, bitch, and throws him a shotgun. And then we get the greatest headshot-a-thon I've ever seen, not including various websites, where John Wick goes out with a shotgun and takes out just 100...
That was a sexual joke.
Yeah. And no, well, only if you thought of it. And takes out just 1,000 guys headshots only with a shotgun, as if he's playing God mode.
God Mood. As if he was playing God Mood. We all remember God Mood back from the late 90s.
Where you shoot the cows?
Yeah. It was an arcade game.
You had to do it wearing a ring.
Very similar to Doom. Even the title, God Mood, was written in the same lettering, same font as Doom. And basically, you were a guy running around with a shotgun killing cows.
Yeah.
And it was good. You could only kill the cows with a headshot. If you didn't get a headshot...
They were zombie cows.
You lost. Yeah, so...
They did it.
The best headshot marathon, it was basically like a guy playing God Mood. Continue, John.
If there is someone out there that can create God Mood,
please send it to us.
do.
We'll play it and review it.
The final boss is a cow with wings.
That's utterly ridiculous. So yeah, him going out, just so enjoyable. Because I thought, and I think you and me talked about this, is when he sort of goes out with a handgun and everybody's
looking at Angus there,
and everybody's wearing body armor and he shoots them all. I'm like, oh, it's sort of going to take away from that scene that everybody wants to see, which is just him fucking up a bunch of guys with headshots.
Yeah.
And when they all had all this armor, I was like, no, they're going to sort of take away that moment.
Yeah, they're
but
going
no, they gave it back tenfold. They're like, you know what? We've done the pistol headshot thing. How can we ramp it up? And instead of thinking more than 30 seconds about it, they went, just give him a shotgun and do it. And they went, yeah.
All right. What part about it didn't you want? What was your negative?
My biggest negative for this film is that it's set up for a fourth film.
Yeah.
I really wanted this chapter 3 to be the closing chapter.
Yeah.
Just because very rarely does the third film turn out very good in an action trilogy like this. Usually it declines. And it almost definitely declines by the fourth and fifth. Thinking like Die Hard, Transporter, any of that sort of stuff. By the time you get to a third film, if that's good, just leave it there and have it go down.
Yeah. Even the Bourne trilogy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bourne 1 was good.
Yeah.
I didn't like the rest very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I liked all of them as a whole. I think
they
they got a bit convoluted. But yeah, so that's my biggest negative is I really wanted this to tie it off. Mm-hmm. And I would have been happy just to have that trilogy, buy the box set.
Yeah.
Done.
I disagree because the third one was my favorite in the series. And therefore, if the fourth one is better than 1 and 2, then it's still going to be great. Because I still very much enjoyed number 1. And I still enjoyed number 2.
I just think
the fourth one's better than number 1 and number 2. Even if it's not better than number 3, it's still gonna be great.
I just think
and
the
so
odds of it being better are low.
I'm kind of glad because I feel like if this becomes a running thing, I'm totally fine with it because it's something that I'm actually kind of interested in. It's not a Fast and Furious, which is just like cars and secret agent shit, which I couldn't care less about. Right? This is like action, and it's good action. It's like interesting to watch. I could watch another 4 of these films.
Yeah, I wanted it to be succinct and closed, and they didn't really give me that.
Kind of like the opposite of your point right now.
Yep.
Brutal.
Fucking brutal.
Wham. All
Succinct
right.
to close.
Bro, man.
Mine's really short. That's why I didn't mind taking the piss out of Jordan.
You've
already talked too long,
was
mate.
so sad that this film ended. I wanted more. I'm really happy with like where it ended, but it was just like I just had so much fun. I had a massive smile on my face the entire film. I'm usually super fucking negative and cynical with like every single film I see, and so it was such a refreshing wave of energy to just go into a film and just be like, this was awesome. I loved this. I'm going out. I'm happy about this. I'm going to be thinking about this for a while. This was great. And it just made me so happy.
Yeah.
And the fact that it ended was my biggest negative.
Something great about walking out of a film and just knowing you're going to give it a good review.
In this film, there was just there's no part where I was just like, oh, really? I guess the performance of the really tall guy that got killed with the book wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Out of all the performances from everyone. But other than that, I guess they could if they put more into story, then there would have been less action, and the action was so good.
Did you like the fanboy bad guy? Did you like that?
Yeah, a little bit, just because it was just again something new.
I didn't like it until the end. I didn't like it for
at the beginning. I was just like, I don't really like.
He wasn't intimidating, but I did like the fact that there's all these assassins out there that idolize John Wick. I really like that world. I didn't so much find the bad guy to be intimidating, but then again, going back through John Wick 1 and 2, if you ask me to name anyone in that isn't John Wick, I can't.
Yeah.
So I didn't really go into this thinking that I was going to get a great villain.
Yeah.
But I do like that they built this world around the fact that it's not just viewers watching the movie that's like John Wick is the greatest. It's no.
Yeah.
Even amongst other assassins, he's just the greatest.
See,
People have trained their life to want to beat him in a fight, and they know they can't.
I think they did it. I think they did it justice by having the two. I'm not sure if they were twins or not, but like the two
other guys,
the two mates.
Yeah.
They were like, we're fighting John Wick. This is awesome, and they got up again, and they're like spun far
and
out.
they're like,
didn't
John
wanna-
Wick, get up, let's
Yeah, they
let's
didn't
fight
want
again.
to take that victory. Like we'll wait for him to trip over and just stab him in the face.
Yeah,
They sort of did
yeah.
that Troy thing where it's like, get up, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fight you while you're in
Yeah,
the fight,
exactly.
standing on your feet.
And
Yeah.
I really liked that dynamic, and I think that served the purpose enough. And like when John Wick kind of let them, like
Yeah.
he didn't kill them. He's like, you guys are gonna be great one day. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I just don't think that the main bad guy. I
love
think
the
they
idea of
played
him
off
saying-
a bit too comedically.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Like right at the
Yeah,
end,
fair.
where he's like, I've just got to catch my breath, and then keels over and dies. You're like, that was kind of a bit shoehorned in.
I did like the one part where he goes, I'll catch up to you, and he goes, no, you won't. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But,
I
do
don't
agree
think
with you.
Keanu Reeves had any lines that were more than one sentence.
Yeah.
Like
It was so
he
great.
talked very
Oh,
minimally.
he had
But
no lines
that's
whatsoever.
every film. That's
Yeah.
every film. I just love that his catchphrase is "be seeing you."
The other thing that I didn't really like, which I like, obviously you guys will probably disagree with, but I think there was just a bit too
hated the
many
dog?
fight scenes in it. I just needed a bit more of a rest. I think it hit me. It hit me on the motorbike fight.
Yeah.
Like
That was probably the worst fight.
yeah, I was watching it. I was like, I'm kind of a bit over John Wick killing people for a bit. Like, I need a bit more something else.
Yeah.
Not particularly story or anything, but maybe like, just bring the stakes up a bit or whatever. But that was my only negative.
I can see that if you're not caught up in that hype, that this movie, and if you're not blown away by the action from scene to scene, then this movie is going to feel really long and very empty.
It's a movie that you have to see with friends as well, because like, it's a movie where you look over to your friend and like, oh, did you see that kind of thing? Whereas if you're watching it by yourself,
If only you had
I
some
feel
friends
like
that
it
would
might-
invite you to movies.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
bro, do you want to go see Aladdin next week together?
No.
Me either.
Me neither. Sweet. All right. Anything else before we
Yeah, look.
wrap it up?
What a fun romp.
Fun romp?
Yeah, look-
Certified fresh romp.
So because I
What
had
a
to
fresh cup of
struggle-
coffee. What a fun romp.
I had to struggle with figuring out a positive, and honestly couldn't think of one. And I also know that I talk too much, so I've gone through and written down. I've just entitled it "Things Jordan Loved in This Movie," and it's just little things, right? So
Do you want a theme song?
yeah, if
Jordan's little things that he likes.
Jordan's little thing.
okay, that felt like you've really twisted this in a way that it's not how I expected it to go.
I didn't do it.
Starting off, book Kung Fu, Western guns, Keanu Reeves, a man getting hit by a car, then a man getting hit by another car, and then a man being hit by a third car.
Was that old John Wick?
Yeah, all in the one scene where he gets hit by a car, he gets up, hit by another car, gets up, and hit by
by a
another.
car.
Greatest thing I've ever seen. All right, axe throwing headshots. Dogs
that was wicked.
only for some reason attacking people's crutch. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that. They only went for the crutch for the whole time.
I'm pretty
but
sure
it
they
was great.
actually train dogs to do that though, because that's like the weakest point.
Yeah, I mean, I've trained my
sense.
dog to do that.
Not my weakest. Oh.
Motorbike ninjas. 100 IKEA glass cabinets being recklessly destroyed with a man's face. Headshot shotgun rampage. Harley Berry. I didn't expect to like her in this film. When she was cast in the trailer,
Halle
I
Berry.
went,
Was
And
she in
fantastic.
the other ones?
No.
Nah.
No. Okay.
So they were like, oh, by the way, she's in this one. And I went, oh,
Yeah,
but she was
yeah.
great.
Has
Thought
she
it was
done
awesome.
anything for the last 10 years?
I don't think she has.
No, she did Catwoman and then nothing. Forever.
Yeah.
Until now. A man getting kicked in the head by a horse, and then a man getting kicked in the head by a horse twice.
Yeah.
A bad guy impaled by a sword making small talk, and Lawrence Fishburne laughing maniacally whilst gently holding a pigeon. Those are all of my favourite things in this movie.
Covered in scars.
Yeah, oh, it's so good.
Jordan's favorite things in the film.
Specifically
Jordan's
large ones.
Little thing.
So good. All right. Next week we are reviewing
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Prince Ali, fabulous, hey.
Jordan, I'll kill you.
Thank you for listening to the Film Slice. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. No. Thank you for listening. No. Thank you for listening to the
The Film Slice podcast. We're
You
on
can reach
YouTube,
us on
iTunes,
YouTube and
Twitter,
iTunes and Twitter
Facebook,
and Facebook and
Instagram.
other
Don't bother
things.
checking the Twitter.
Next week we're reviewing Aladdin. Make sure you hit us up for that one. Any thoughts? Any gospels?
Any thoughts at all?
choirs?
Doesn't have to be related.
Any songs? Send us in a song. We'll
you
sing
could
it. We'll do
rewrite-
it. We'll
if
bloody
you
do
could-
it.
To be honest, if you do send us in a song, we will listen to it and we'll jam out
Hell
to it
yeah.
on the podcast.
All right. See you next week.